Yo, what up? Here's Tease Out the Vapor. Welcome to my channel. My name is Shane. Well, this is actually my first time doing a review in English on YouTube. So let me introduce myself real quick. My name is Shane. I'm an ATTY designer, an e-juice flavorist, and also a vape reviewer. I've done hundreds of vape reviews before, but not here on YouTube, but on Bilibili. As you could see, I'm an Asian, right? Actually, I'm Chinese. We Chinese don't often use YouTube. We use Bilibili a lot. So this is the first time that we meet each other. Well, let me tell you something. These days, with the tightening of the policy against vaping in my country, I thought I had to find some way out. So here I am. YouTube, nice to meet you guys. Well, I'm not that kind of guy who likes to chit-chat a lot on the video. So today, let's get down to the business. Here is what I want to share with you. Mea Culpa RTA by Holy ATTY from Korea. So here's the package. The price of this ATTY is likely around 165 euros. I forgot. Okay, here is a black little carton with a sticker on it. Says the name Mea Culpa, MTL RTA Project 10. Well, I googled about this Mea Culpa. It's actually Latin or Romanian. It means my fault. This word is often used for repenting to God. I think Holy ATTY always like to name their products in a religious and gothic and gloomy way like their previous ATTY. This one, Patibalum, it actually means the gallows of hanging someone to death. Oof, creepy. Now unpack the carton. Here is the ATTY and here are 3 airflow discs. They are with 1mm hole and 1.2mm hole and 1.4mm double holes. The one already installed on the ATTY is 1mm double hole. So except this disc with 1.4 double hole, all the other 3 are for mouth to lung, and this one is for restrictive direct lung. I've never seen any airflow inserts have these kind of weird looks, so maybe let's find out how they works later. Take this EVA sponge out, and here is a plastic card with serial number on it, and here are the spare screws and O-rings. Now let's take a closer look at this ATTY. 22mm diameter, 13mm tall, not including the 510 connector and the drip tip. 3.5ml capacity Ultim tank. The name Mea Culpa engraved here, and there are 2 slots for the airflow goes in on the outside. From top it looks like this, and from the bottom here's Holy ATTY and the serial number. No CE or trash can signs. And let's separate it into parts. First of all, a Teflon drip tip. The same material as the WARV or the VAR RTA's drip tip. This one, they are the same material, but I know a lot of people hate Teflon drip tips. So do I. This is not a top cap. This ATTY is actually bottom filling. This part is combined together with the chimney and the bell. To open up the tank, you need to turn the tank clockwise and then pull. This is how it looks inside the bell. I guess this deck might make you a little bit confused at the first sign because there are no juice well. No any slot or hole or pit for you to stuff your cotton. But this is actually the most interesting and most innovative part on this ATTY. My favorite part. Now let's make it clear. Let's unscrew these 2 screws on the bottom and remove this part and remove the positive post and the insulator, and then remove these 2 screws. Now you can see there are 2 little posts on each side going through this 2 little holes, diameter a little bit larger than the post, and create a space for your juice flow to come up from here. So actually when you're vaping, your juice come into these slots and then comes up from here and wicks your cotton. In this case, there is literally 0 difficulty for you to deal with the cotton. All you need to do is to lay the cotton here, cut from here, and done. 100% no leaking. This is really great. This is my favorite part on this ATTY. It's actually the same principle with this one. The Cabello V5.5 by Steam Pipes. But this one is a lot more reasonable, more efficient, more clever, and works way more better. But Here comes the part I really don't like, which is the way how you're replacing different airflow discs. We've seen airflow pins removing from here or from here, right? All you need to do is to unscrew one screw, or even don't need to screw any screws. But on this Mea Culpa RTA, you have to unscrew these two motherfuckers first and remove this part, then remove this positive post and the insulator, and then remove these two motherfuckers. Then remove the top, then remove this little disc. You have to totally separate the whole deck into pieces to change another airflow disc. And I'm gonna use this one, the 1mm one. And now you gotta put all this shit one by one back into place. This is just so complicated. Oh, for God's sake, I'm losing my patience. This is emotional damage, bro. Oh, and here's another thing. Because of the structures inside the deck, this positive post is not very stable. You can find it slightly waggle around while you're rebuilding. Annoying, but not that annoying. Well, time to rebuild. Rebuilding is pretty easy. I used BPMOS Nichrome 70 single wire in 26 gauge and 2.5mm diameter and 8 wraps closed. And also very easy to deal with the cut. All you need to do is to cut from here. And fluff it a little bit. To refill the tank, you need to turn it upside down and fill gently, nice and slow. If you squeeze the bottle with too much strength, the juice will get into the bell. So really not friendly for impatient people, and not friendly for juice with glass bottle and glass droppers. I'm losing my patience again. This is another emotional damage. Okay. Okay, now let's screw the ATTY on the box. And the trip tip. But wait, before vaping, there is something really important to do. Turn the tank anti-clockwise, so it will be locked on the deck. If you forget this step and take it out in your pocket, you're gonna wet your pants. Tell me I'm not the only one who thinks this design is a little bit counterintuitive. Let's see. This one, the Skyline R RTA, has a similar locking system with this one, right? You also need to turn and pull. But on this one, every time I screw it on a mod, the tank automatically get locked. When I want to open the tank, I turn it anti-clockwise. But on this one, the directions to turn are totally opposite. I'm pretty sure that most ATTYs of this kind of structures are like this, instead of this. I'm pretty sure about this. Alright, so let's take a few puffs. Well, with this airflow disc with 1mm hole on it, it actually feels a little bit looser than 1mm on other ATTYs. It feels like probably 1.1 or 1.2, though the airflow is pretty good. It's very smooth, but this is definitely not a quiet RTA. You can hear it. Right, sounds pretty loud. Louder than at least 50% of the MTL RTAs I've ever used, but the good news is that I heard Holy ATTY is going to make a new underpart, like this part, of this deck, which you can replace the old one to reduce the wind noise, but they said on the Instagram that the new deck is going to make this really quiet, but I don't know. I didn't try that yet. And as for flavor, thumbs up. For real. I think this Mea Culpa RTA works really good on flavors. I've tried both mild Lan and restrictive direct Lan in the past week and tried different kinds of e-juice. And I found this ATTY really versatile. Desserts, good. Fruits, good. Tobaccos, also good. It brings you a strong intensity of flavor, rich and sweet. It actually brings higher sweetness than most other bottom airflow atomizers in the market. This is pretty impressive, and you can still tell the different layers, different gradations of taste from the vapors. But Because of its unique juice flow system, the wicking speed is actually a little bit faster than I would expect it. I could feel the vapors a bit humid, also a bit hot, especially while using this original drip tip. So for me, I prefer to change another longer drip tip, like this. Much better, way more cooler and drier. But if you don't like long drip tips like this one, then I may suggest you to use some soft cotton like Cloud9 cottons or Voodoo cotton to make sure it wicks slower. And another thing I want to remind you is that if you do restrictive direct long on this ATTY, make sure the resistance at least higher than 0.6 ohms, because this Teflon drip tip, this one, gets really hot when ohms are low. Otherwise, you better still find a longer drip tip. So, pros and cons. Pros, first, flavor, not bad. Second, unique and innovative juice flow system. Third, easy to rebuild. And fourth, simple design with no little tiny parts inside this ATTY. So, cons. First, I definitely hate this drip tip. And second, positive post is not very stable on this RTA. Third, direction of 10 clock is just weird. And fourth, not quiet enough, at least for now. And fifth, it's just too complicated for you to change the airflow disc. So here are all I'd like to share with you on this holy ATTY Mea Culpa RTA. Thanks for watching. If you like my reviewing style, click like and subscribe for me, please. See you next time. Goodbye and good night.